One thing I've realized in life is like being alone can be scary, you know? Like you come out the womb, you know you're not alone, you're in the womb alone, but like do you really know you're in the womb? Like do people have recollection of like being in the womb and being like, I seen black. What fucking lady? But like later you come out the womb, you're with someone, you know, you're with your mother. Like I don't know, I feel like in the world maybe we're not meant to be alone, you know. I don't know if that makes sense to some people, but like I don't know. I wonder, like, out there, like, is there people who just, like, wouldn't mind being alone till the end of time? Like, I'm very curious to know because I guess it's just, like, out of curiosity. Because, like, for me, it's like, it's scary, you know? Like, let's say you're in, like, a dark cave, you know? You have a flashlight. It's a flashlight, but, you know, like, I guess you could say it's always nice to have someone there to like watch your back. And even though like you're exploring what's unknown, like as long as there's someone else there, I feel like it's a type of security. But then also that same security might like turn on you and just pull a gun and kill you in that cave and just leave you there for dead because there's no one else there around you and nobody knows that you were there, so now you're dead. But you know, that's how it's because me, it's like I have trust issues. That's why I say that. That's why it's like, you know, I'm always like, yeah, I'm looking for the monster, but I'm almost like, is you the monster? Like Scooby Doo, they showed you that like the monsters are always people. So I'm like, hold up, like, what's in your pocket? What is that? Why is it in the shape of a gun? Are you about to kill me? Like, that's just like what it gives. Like, I feel like I'm always guarded with people because, like, at the end of the day, like, you never know, like, how true someone's intentions are. Like, if someone wants to switch like this, they could do that. Like, just like this, like, in a snap of fingers, like, they could be a whole different person. But you know, it's always just nice. Like if it's like a sister or something, like babes, like trust me, I watch your back, you watch mine. I got you, sis. Like I never expect them to switch up. But when it comes to like strangers and stuff, it's like you never really know what it's hitting for. And even like in life and stuff, you know, like I feel like sometimes as humans, like sometimes we're headed in a direction. We don't have a map or any type of navigation, but we know we're moving somewhere. But you know, sometimes it's scary because when you're alone, it's just like, well, you're alone, you know, there's no one there. You have to get used to the sound of your own voice. You have to get used to like when you're tired, instead of leaning on another shoulder, you have to lean on yours and just like hold yourself in the way you want to be held and just like move, but without relying on anyone but yourself. But like navigating the unknown with someone else, even though you guys don't know where you're going, it's like having two, it's nice just like hearing the sound of someone else's voice. It's nice knowing that when you're gonna get tired, like there's someone there that you could lean on, and then vice versa. But it's just like in life, it's scary. That's why sometimes, like, when I think too much about being alone, like, I kind of get scared and I wonder, like, will I be alone forever? You know, like, it's one of my biggest fears is that, like, maybe the day will come where it'll just be me and there won't be no one else around, and I'll just like it'll just be the sound of my own voice. And you know, that's scary. You know, I don't like I truly believe that like there probably is like no one who genuinely wants to be alone forever. You know, I feel like, yeah, having one house is one thing, but it's always nice to have a second home. And again, it's just like, you know, people sometimes like they'll sell us a lie. They'll sell us a dream of what seems to be reality, but in reality it's not. It's just a picture, you know, like you're headed towards what feels like the light, but then the further you go into that tunnel, you realize that like it was just another car's headlights and you actually weren't getting any closer to what was there. And you know, that's how some people's intentions are. That's why, like, as much as I don't want to be alone, it's like once you let the wrong person in, it may like alter the entire dynamic of your life. And like one decision, this is the thing, just like those like choice games, you know, one decision may end the entire game over. And of course, like almost everything in life is a risk. Just getting on the road to go drive somewhere, that's a risk in itself. You know, you never know what these other drivers are going to do. You never know what someone else is doing in their car. You don't know. And that's kind of what scares me is that every time I feel like I trust someone, they like show me something that shows me like why I could never like fully confine in someone. This always shows me why like I'll let my guard down a little bit, but never fully, because like you always have to be prepared to get shot. That's what it is. That's why it's scary. Like life, as much of it's a thrill to be alive, there's also like this scariness in like what other people can do to you. You know? That's why it's like, again, being alone, it's scary, but then it's like do I take the risk of letting someone in and it like changing my life for the better or for the worse, you know? And it's like, or do I just give to myself and just get accustomed to it just being me and being the sole provider and everything all for me? But again, it's like, do I want this forever? Forever is a long time, you know? Like, I'm 21 now and I'm not as alone as I was before because I have friends and stuff. But like, if we think about like the aspect in love, it's like, I believe everyone wants to feel love even once, you know. There's familiar love from family and those around you, you know, they get accustomed to loving you. But from a stranger, it's like, can you love me through flaws and alls? Can you love me for me? Or do I have to be someone else in order to be loved? That's why, honestly, for now, it's like my only answer is, well, I have to hold myself in the way I want to be held. I have to be there for myself in the way I want someone else to be there. And I have to rely on myself for a shoulder, even though it would be nice to have someone else there. But you know, like, it's, I guess you could say, as long as there's still people around, I guess you're never fully alone. But sometimes you just want to know more, you know? You want to see something that you haven't seen before. You want to feel something that you haven't felt before. But sometimes those feelings may bring you to something great, or they might just be there as an anchor on your ankle to try to pull you down with them. But of course, you could either let them go, but again, sometimes not everyone is willing to go. So I guess you have to get used to the risk of life. Is, I guess everything is a risk, right? But that's just my thoughts on it. But you guys can always let me know how you guys feel. And that is my message for today.